Hello, today's the 17th day of our reflective tarot read, so it's 2 week, 3 days of the Oma, and today it's Tiferet of Tiferet, so the sixth Sephirot. So I'm looking at all the six of all the suits, plus I'm looking at the knights today because the knights sit within Tiferet, within the heart region. They're the force and energy of transformation. It's what comes towards you for transformation. So it's kind of, we've got strengths and weaknesses, and we should be looking at those, what we need to develop, what we need to refine. So we got our fire energy, our water energy, our air energy, our earth energy, and they're all areas of our soul. They actually represent in the tree of life the various areas of the tree. So we got the wands at the top end, we've got the cups kind of sitting in the middle, and the swords, sorry, not the cups, the swords sitting there, cups there, and pentacles down there in Malkut, because they're about the earth and the world and where we are. So with Tiferet, I've said before, it's the place where all the chakras within the heart meet and balance. So it's our alchemical place. It's a place where inner and outer meet, where the seen and the unseen meet. And it's where we actually do our alchemy. So there's that sense that the process that's involved is the relocation of our kind of personality, our everyday personality, from the ego, the lower nature, to the true self, the soul, the heart, the higher self, whatever your words for that is. So we're going to be looking at our thinking in the swords, our feeling and perception of our wands, our fire energy, our intuitive emotion, and our sensate, five senses of the pentacles. So when we're looking at a heart, the alchemy we're doing is to actually bring the shift from serving ourselves, that lower ego self, to serving the collective whole. So that consciousness of the higher self, the cosmic kind of knowing, the connection, it sits between the connection of kind of the lower and source, just beyond, just under that earth, so that void. Yeah. So with our Six of Wands, if you remember what the Five of Wands look like, they're kind of arguing and quarrelling, the competition, and trying to find victory there. He's moved beyond that. He's got his wand with what looks like the maypole, which is the Beltane kind of sentiment, the marriage of the yin and the yang, of the god and the goddess. That's a sign of fertility and fruitfulness. So that he's depicting the marrying of those forces of Yesod, where all the energies come down into the world. So that's a spiritual kind of marrying of the forces. So that is the message of this Knight of Wands. So he's that transformative energy. He's got an imaginative, active heart. So Six of Wands is that level of mastery after he's received that energy, transformational energy within the heart space of this Knight. So he's raised up on his white horse, he's moving. There's a kind of signifying of movement and purity of heart. He's got those, tamed his fire and balanced within Tiferet. So that's our Six of Wands and our Knight of Wands. Then we look at the Knight of Cups. I mean, he's coming towards, you know, a kind of slow pace, bringing empathy, compassion. So he's learned this reflective knowledge and wisdom. So with our cups, the Five of Cups, which is the Geberer energy, where there's loss, that we looked at the other day, you know, and limitation and that sense of loss of the fives. He's bringing the knowledge and wisdom. He's the transformational energy from that place of loss to this six, which is innocent open-heartedness, the open-heartedness of Tiferet. So the receptivity to receive emotionally and intuitively. So there's our cups. Then we have our Knight of Swords. He's very eager, but he brings the energy in his sword to search out and destroy, you know, patterns of thinking that are destructive, because it's the sword air energy. He's got an energy that can penetrate the truth, you know, the truth, kind of the mental, intellectual, mind truth. And the Six of Swords, you know, they're crossing a river. They're going across a river. It can be the river of, you know, the river of Jordan from the Omer story, you know, crossing to the promised land, but it's kind of a crossing to a higher consciousness. Or it could be the river Lethe from the Greek mythology, which is the river of forgetfulness. If you went in this river or on this river, you could forget all your troubles, but you also completely forgot who you were. It came from Hypnosis cave, who is the god of sleep. So there's that sense of we're crossing the river of forgetfulness, you know, remembering who we are. Five of Swords, we talked about yesterday, I think the Geberer of Tiferet, you know, that sense of our identity and our sense of having boundaries violated and standing in our authentic truth of who we are, our identity. So this Knight of Wands is bringing that kind of force, that transformational energy. You know, it's mentally productive understanding. The things we believed had been taken from us in the Six of Swords, where we felt robbed. So it's kind of, he's bringing a clarity of mind that will show us the bigger picture, not just our circumstances, but how mentally they fit in. He'll bring us that mental clarity to know how that fits in within the one, the whole. And then we've got our Knight of Pentacles, our lovely slow steady energy, but he's, you know, he's bringing us transformation to break through limitations. So with our six, in the Five of Pentacles was like that picture of them walking on a crutch and looking homeless, you know, ill and lacking outside the church, the Five of Pentacles, which is like he is bringing that energy to break through those limitations, whether they're actual physical limitations or they're a consciousness of lack, not seeing the abundance. So this night will bring that productive energy to manifest fruits, harvests in our life, you know, whether that's material harvest, emotional, mental, or spiritual harvest. So he's kind of showing us this abundance, you know, he's near the fields. So he comes to show us the abundance in us and around us. So we move from that consciousness of lack and move into this giving and receiving energy of the Six of Pentacles, that balanced energy. and that kind of balance of life that knits us together, you know, understanding there's times we're the giver and times we need to receive, that beautiful balance, and that comes from a deep understanding of ourselves, our needs and others' needs, and also knowing that the abundance is not only in us, but it's pouring down from the source into us, so it's in us and around us. So really, the reflections on those, there's many more questions you could ask, but I wanted to look at it in terms of the energy. And yeah, the questions that you could ask or reflect on is, you know, what out of these are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You may have like amazing strength of mind, but you're dissociated from your emotions. You know, if you're very lucky, you've got a beautiful balance in all of them, which means you will be really moving into that Tiferet, that balanced energetic area of the heart. But what are you know, what do you need to focus on and work on, open out to? What area, which element? Is it your fire or your water, your air or your earth? So that's the kind of reflections I had. I've got this beautiful card from the White Light deck. It's called Solve Polluti 741 Hertz. And the oracle says, tune into your heart, very apt. And you'll be able to find your way through any negative or toxic situations. So any of those vibes, you know, any of that kind of loss, and engage in self-healing and space clearing. Commit to regular practices that help you to connect to your inner light. Your light should not be overcome by any darkness or negativity. Take time to clean your heart and mind of negativity by focusing on the divine beings that bring joy to your heart. So focus on source, focus on your spiritual practice, focus on the things that bring a balance to your heart. It says it's appropriate for you to desire your own personal and sacred space and access it daily. Yeah, so it's a kind of reflection on practice and spiritual practice and soul evolution, really, and personal development and soul evolution. So I've got the heart chakra cards, obviously, so I'll pull us a card from those. See what's coming out of that. Okay, forgiveness. Had this week already. So yeah, forgiveness, you know, as you're looking at these areas, you know, if you've come across them because circumstances have been difficult and you've been hurt, then you know, work on that process of forgiveness and work on the process of forgiving yourself, because actually that is what is going to bring transformation, and that is what is going to allow the flow of energy. I mean, we can often be better at forgiving other people than we do ourselves. So yeah, reflect on those strengths and weaknesses, and maybe the strengths and weaknesses in the people who've hurt you. You know, acknowledge that we've all got strengths and weaknesses. We all hurt and we all get hurt, you know, and do that work and work on that area. So I'll give us a reading. But yeah, Tiferet, it's love, beauty, harmony, balance, and like I say, it's the alchemical place of all the chakras. It's where earth and source and everything in between meet. So our heart's so important to keep the channel clear if we want to grow and develop. So we've got the Three of Wands, the Empress, and the Page of Wands. And we got beautiful Nine of Pentacles, abundance on the bottom. So seems to be a Wands day. So looking at this, you know, these wands of the energy of, you know, imagination and perception and understanding, that kind of wisdom there. You know, this guy is looking out, he's looking for his ships to come in. So it's like, look at your situations, and not just through your perception, but through your intuition and your mind and the actual circumstance, you know, and learn. These are a learning, you know, sprouts of growth. They belong, the pages belong in Malkut, in the world. So it's like looking at the world. I mean, he's out by the pyramids, which is a sign of wisdom, perception, understanding. But in the middle, we got this beautiful, fertile Empress, you know, and she's got the Venus sign there, you know, Tiferet, love, beauty, harmony. But it is in the cycles of time, the Empress. So she's like the cosmic womb. She's the cycles, the birth, the decay, the death, the regeneration. So it's kind of looking out, I think, to get that big picture, you know, the big picture of creation. I mean, these three wands always remind me of the top Sephirot, the first emanations. You had the 0 point, you had the one emanation that split into the two, but there's the three. It's creation. So yeah, just kind of look at these areas and see where, you know, congratulate yourself on the areas, but clear any toxicity, any blockages in the channel of your heart, you know, physically as well. I mean, your heart is what is pumping, you know, it pumps your blood, it pumps your oxygen. There's that sense of that bigger understanding that that heart is the thing that keeps the rest of everything going, and it certainly does spiritually. Yeah, and look for that beautiful abundance on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed that, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye bye.